Delezie raid has been out for 2 weeks now, and you already want to graduate? I got you. What up, y'all? It's your favorite counselor, Kaizen, here to let you know how to be a Delezie graduate as a solo player. We'll track your progress, studies, academics, and of course, your expenses. This is assuming you're unlucky with gear flips, that you're not filthy rich, and not a nepo baby. So matchmaking and buying raids is not included here. But you're more than welcome to. It's your game. Live your anime world. Also, events definitely help with the grind, as most of them give out materials that help with progression. But for the sake of starting fresh, this guide is for you. Let's see here. We gotta make sure you're admitted to the institute first. After hitting level 115, we're gonna put you through your training arc. So make sure you run your dailies and weeklies, your advanced dungeons, and Disciple of Doom. If you're on a tight budget, I recommend spending your Doom oracles on the weekends, because you get to spend an extra 20 fatigue those days. If you're out of Doom oracles, chasing the bag by running Maleficent is a great part-time job. As you scale your fame, hopefully you've picked up a major, but I wouldn't stress out about it. Here at the Institute, switching majors won't break the bank. Once you've hit about 42,000 fame, our next set of curriculars begins with Venus. Your progress here will help you with understanding your major better, and with possibly new perks. The standard progression would be to obtain 5 pieces of fusion gear at unique rarity. We can fast track this by disassembling your very first fusion piece you get. This will register it in your armory for future use, and net you 100 Silk of Praise for your character if it's unique, 300 if it's an epic. Once we have enough, we can use them to purchase the remaining fusions at the shop. This rebate strategy can also apply to newly purchased fusion gear. So collect your rebate and repeat the process until you complete at least a unique rarity set of fusion armor for your chosen set. If your fusions don't match your gear set, you can change them all at once via the fusion replacement. Running Venus solo will also net you 150 Silk of Praise, plus an additional 15 if you have the Neo Premium at level 1. At levels 2 and 3, you only get an extra 30 account bound Silk of Praise, which could definitely help you if you can reliably and effortlessly clear C2. But if you can't, don't sweat it. You can stay at C1 until you can clear it. With C2 giving you more out of your runs, although I would recommend being at least 55 to 60k fame for C2 for smooth runs. Once you reach about 48,000 fame, you can start running Nabble solo, which is the barrier of non-volition, a separate channel from the raid. Similar to Venus when we farm the left side for your set, Nabble will provide us the right side through accessory and special equipment fusions. Solo will net us 150 Nabble mats, plus 15 extra if you have Neo Premium. Just like Venus, we can use the rebate strategy to disassemble any new fusion we obtain to net us 100 Nabble mats from unique fusions and 300 from epic fusions. Then purchase more fusion boxes, open and repeat until we're a full set. Each piece of fusion will give you 800 fame per unique rarity fusion, 1200 for epic, plus more for each threshold you meet on your set. Getting to Delezie will take some time, so prioritize getting your degrees in Venus and Nabble via epic tier fusions. Assuming you're unlucky with your gear set, epic fusions will carry most of the weight in fame, netting you a total of up to 13,200 fame and 715 set points at full Venus and Nabble epic set fusion. I say most of the weight because the gear that you obtain from flips and running Disciple of Doom is not guaranteed. but Venus and Nabal are, which is why they provide you with so much fame consistently. Reaching Delezie requires you to hit 63,257 fame and about 3 billion on the sandbag under the Bakal setting within a 40-second timer. If you want to run it smoothly, you would follow those rules for the training simulation. This would also mean your minimum gear average should be legendary rarity armor, accessories, and special equipment, which is about 13,200 fame, a plus 12 or 8 refined epic weapon, which is 8,500 for the weapon and 1215 for the reinforcement or refinement. Epic rarity armor, accessories, and special equipment fusion. For all 11 pieces, that's 13,200 fame. A primeval tier set, which will net you an additional 23,000 fame, along with emblems for your avatars, like creature, aura, and title combo, and at least unique rarity enchants. Although if you're going to be fighting Delezie, you might as well go for legendary rarity enchants. Once you have access to Delezie, progression will slow down to a crawl, fitting for your capstone classes. Running Delezie solo, labeled the first act, will net you 60 plague seeds and an additional 6 if you have Neo, and also 1 dark blight. You also need 2, heavy under quotation marks on 2, prerequisites for becoming a Delezie Grad: a primeval legacy weapon and full epic or distinct epic armor. Let's break down each prerequisite, starting with the weapon. Unless you got really lucky with your drops, it's very difficult to pull a primeval rarity weapon, let alone a primeval legacy weapon. There's a few ways to nab one without searching for it in Disciple of Doom. One is through purchasing it via Prime Stellas and Void Souls. You get to gamble for a legacy weapon via Mystical Grimoire at the cost of 5 Prime Stellas and 500 Void Souls. I say gamble because you're not guaranteed a legacy weapon. If you're unlucky with a gamble and you happen to get a non-legacy primeval, or Disciple of Doom gave you a non-legacy primeval weapon, you can spend 240 plague seeds, which is one of the Delezie mats that you get from the raid, to convert it into a legacy weapon of the same weapon type. It will definitely set you back a couple of runs, but at least you're now guaranteed a legacy weapon. My advice is to accumulate the total amount required to upgrade both the Delezie weapon and Delezie armor in one sitting, so you can buy yourself time during your grind and see if you can get lucky with a legacy pull from the primeval weapon box or as a drop or flip. Let's say you do have a legacy weapon. You will then need to tune it 3 times, and each tuning will cost you 40 Dark Blight and 500,000 gold or 100 Malefic Residue, for a total of 120 Dark Blight and either 1.5 million gold or 300 Malefic Residue. Once your legacy weapon has been tuned 3 times, you can then upgrade it to a Delezie weapon using 2 Primeval Souls, 80 additional Dark Blight, and 500,000 gold or 100 Malefic Residue. Or you can just luck out and flip a Delezie weapon, easy peasy. Your armor, however, requires a different set of mats. Each piece of armor only needs to pay a one-time cost of 3 epic souls, 480 plague seeds, and 1.5 million gold or 300 Malefic Residue. Assuming you're the unluckiest person in Arid, the maximum amount of time required to upgrade Delezie armor would be about 40 runs, or 36 with Neo Premium. With the weapon, assuming you already have a legacy weapon, would require much more time. About 200 runs. Wow, that's a lot of runs. However, there's two ways to shorten this time. One is buying the Dark Blight box in the Delezie raid shop. This is a one-time purchase per character that costs 400 ignorant might remnants. A separate Nabble raid mat that used to be required to give your weapon a Nabble upgrade, which then got refunded when we got Mist of Assimilation. If you got the Nabble weapon upgrade before the Delezie raid patch, you are instantly refunded the 400, so you can exchange it for the 16 Dark Blight box in the Delezie raid shop. A more consistent way of earning Dark Blight is extracting Dark Blight from primeval weapon copies registered in each of your character's armories. This extraction can be done once a month per character at the cost of one copy of a registered primeval rarity weapon, 2 primeval souls, 2 prime stellas, and either 200,000 gold or 40 malefic residue. So as soon as you can clear Delezie, find out if you have at least 400 ignorant might remnants, and if you have extra copies of primeval rarity weapons in your registry. Assuming you do, and you have at least one primeval rarity weapon per month, which is already asking for a lot, you can upgrade your Delezie weapon in about 8 months. And this is all assuming you have 0 luck with Delezie flips, but do own a legacy weapon. Even if you own a primeval star weapon, you'll still have enough time in those 8 months to farm enough plague seeds to then convert it into a primeval legacy weapon. So no sweat there. Woo, what a journey. Let's recap. Our progression checklist includes dailies and weeklies, including advanced dungeons, and Disciple of Doom. Bleeding Minds unlock at 33k fame, which help us with the lottery of obtaining our gear. Moon Submerged Lake unlocks at 35k fame, a step above in the advanced dungeon territory. And then at 42k fame, we unlock Venus. Remember to stay at C1 when you're starting, and as soon as you get stronger, try to do C2 for the 30 additional Silk of Praise. You'll be able to obtain a full set of unique fusions at 2 to 3 runs, but again, you want to keep farming until you're at full epic tier. The sooner you hit the primeval set of your gear, the better. Azure Main Advanced Dungeon unlocks at 45k fame. Nabble Solo, under the name Barrier of Non-Volition, unlocks at 48k fame. Just like Venus, we want a full unique set at about 2 to 3 runs and farm until we're at full epic tier. This will help us reach the primeval tier of our gear set, and it will definitely help us in our progression, help us with clearing the content as we get closer and closer to Delezie. And then at Temple of Death, it's another advanced dungeon that unlocks at 49k fame, and then Unshackled Nightmare at 53k fame. And finally, we have the Delezie solo named the First Act, which unlocks at 64k fame. Again, if you want to run Delezie smoothly, you want to be dealing about 300 billion at the sandbag, use the Bakal setting, and do as much damage as you can within 40 seconds. I want to remind everyone watching this that these are the current values of the mats at the day this video was posted. Fast tracking raid gear progression will naturally happen in the future, so be on the lookout for future patch updates regarding them. This guide also assumes you have super low rolled everything, and values shown are giving you the minimum amount you can obtain. You will definitely shorten the progression time depending on what you get lucky on, So as soon as you can reach and clear Delezie the first time, it's cruise control from there. I hope this gave you some foresight when it comes to solo play, but this guide is more so an outline than a strict plan, meaning there's no one stopping you from buying raid runs if you got the money for it, that is. It's your boy Kaizen, reminding you that it's not a race, but a marathon, and I will be at the finish line to get you that graduation diploma. Peace.